You were created to be more than a player. You were created to be more than a player. So I don't want any of you to only have your identity in being a player. Yes, I want you to care about who you are as a player, but I don't want that to be your identity. Because at some point, your playing career will be over, and at some point, my coaching career will be over. And how many guys have you guys seen that have a lot of regret in their playing career, and they're jacked up because their whole identity was in being a player? It's hard, right? You guys all want to be the best you can be. You want to score every basket. You never want to miss a shot. You want to be the best. I have the same problems. But I'm constantly trying to figure out, guys, when I'm maybe 10 years from now, I probably ain't coaching no more. Now what's my identity? Well, my identity should be who I am. And who I am should be who I am today. And so if I have relationships with you based on who you are as a person, then when you can't play, we're still good. And when I can't coach, we're still good, because the relationship was built on who we are, not what we do. So you're the CEO of your company. You're the CEO of your company now. And your company, I ain't talking about name, image, likeness. I'm talking about for your life. You're the CEO now. So today is not about you, it's about others. And Josh is going to give a 7-minute speech, and then everybody's going to get a custom fit suit, shirt, and tie. And this is my opinion. This will be the best suit that you've ever had. And this is the first thing I want you to write down. The best leadership. The best leadership is self-leadership. The best leadership is self-leadership, comma, because that's where leadership begins. You can never lead and be captain if you can't lead yourself, right? And so if your life example is not congruent, in other words, if your life and your words don't match up, then at some point when everybody sees that your words and your life are different, they're like, yeah, you ain't got to listen to him. You guys would agree with that, right? But if you don't lead yourself, then you can't lead others. That same thing will hold true when you become a husband. If you can't get your night life right, you can't get your day life right. Everybody understands, right? Self-leadership is first. That's where leadership begins. The best awareness is self-awareness. Comma. Because that's where awareness begins. So when I was your age, what everybody said was, if you want to be successful, it's based on your IQ. It's based on how smart you are. When I was 20, everybody was saying, if you want to make a lot of money and you want to be really successful, you have to be really, really smart. And now you're 20 and I'm 48, and nobody ever talks about IQ anymore. They talk about EQ. And EQ just basically means, are you aware of what's going on around you? Are you emotionally aware? So intelligence quotient, IQ, that's what it stands for. And then EQ is emotional quotient. Like, are you aware? So when you see someone that's real successful, and let's say that this is a object lesson, this right here is really, really, really successful. It's never a complete circle. There's going to be something in their life that's way out of whack. Kobe Bryant, we say in our world, Kobe Bryant was really, really successful. But you guys understand, the reason he was waking up at 4 was he did not sleep 8 hours a day. He would sleep 3 hours and then wake up and work out. Go home and eat. Sleep 3 hours, wake up, go work out. Sleep 3 hours, wake up, go work out. Well, that's because he's different, right? Something is different about how he lives. It wasn't his IQ, it wasn't his EQ, right? But he's very successful, and so something about how he operates is normally way out of whack. First impressions are lasting impressions. So your first impression, you need to be aware of what that is and how to make it better. But the reason that you're having an impression is why. Why are you having an impression? It means somebody else is in the equation. Does that make sense? It has to do with you, but it has to do with others, right? And so when it has to do with others, you agree it could be good compound or bad compound. You agree it could be a good first impression or it could be a bad first impression. You agree that if you have a bad first impression and first impressions are lasting, it's hard to overcome, right? Okay, the average attention span now in 2021 is 6.8 seconds. This is crazy. The average attention span now is 6.8 seconds. When you hit your feed, Twitter line, whatever you guys call it, you're going to look at it for 6.8 seconds. And if you're engaged in it, you hit something like, retweet, or the link. And if you don't, you're scrolling past it. You with me? That's the attention span. The first impressions that anybody has of you, of anybody, is 7 seconds. It's the first 7 seconds of introduction. The first 7 seconds of the first college coach that called you to recruit you, in 7 seconds you had a vibe on it one way or another. So what we've talked about the first 3 sessions has been about self-awareness. Our first 3 Get Better sessions are just about you. It's just how can we, I hope, help you for 10 years from now. And while we're trying to help you for 10 years from now, are we doing something that helps you now? Does that make sense?